Hi, this is Irooze, founder of Irooze. Super pleased to be here with Paul, who is a realtor in San Antonio, Texas, and he also holds the CDS designation, which stands for Certified Divorce Specialist. One of the most important things to think about really is, what are the laws related to your house and home in Texas? Considering it's community property, what does that mean? What are the things to consider? Who do you need to work with? And how do you sort of craft this strategy around selling your home? So Paul is going to be here to provide us with some insightful information. So thank you for being here. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts.
Sure. Thanks, Ravit. Like Ravit said, my name is Paul Anderson. I'm a real estate agent here in San Antonio. Um, Home ownership is one of the biggest assets we own. I mean, it is usually the biggest asset in anybody's investment portfolio. When it comes to ownership, Texas is a community property state, meaning 50-50 ownership between husband and wife or spouses. Even if, let me give you an example here. If, my wife and I bought a house together, but all the funds to buy that home came out of my personal funds that I had prior to us being married, and I used those funds to buy the house, I've essentially put those funds into community property. Now, I'm going to preface this with a disclaimer that I'm not a CPA, I'm not an attorney, and I'm not a financial advisor. These are just the way things work. To get more clarification, obviously, we want to talk to other professionals. So that, and when you sell the house, you buy the house, it's an appreciating asset. So if you buy it for $100,000, and then, wouldn't it be nice to buy a house for $100,000? And 5-10 years from now, that home is now worth $450,000. Well, how much do you still owe on the original mortgage? Is the difference between that number and what the current market value is what is your equity. So in a divorce situation, you're talking about splitting 50-50. The only thing you're going to split is that equity, not, because a mortgage will go away if you sell the house. If you're considering buying your spouse out, then you're going to have to figure out a way for that 50%, your 50% of the equity, to be transferred to your spouse. Big mistake that I see people make is the spouse, the departing spouse says, okay, you stay in the home. I'm just, it's all yours. I'm going to walk away. Well, guess what? Unless that remaining spouse refinances the home, and again, I'm getting into the mortgage territory here, but unless that remaining spouse refinances that house, the spouse that departed is still on the hook. They're still on the line for that mortgage. Don't ever recommend doing that. Like I said, I'm not an attorney. I'm not a CPA. But through working with Ravit, working with my associates at CDS, and through the National Association of Divorce Professionals, we work to create a team. So it's not just you against the world. It's your realtor who's going to help advise you on the sale and transfer and sale of your property if that's something you choose to do. We're going to also bring in a mediator, a financial. We're going to recommend it. Whether you choose to use them or not, that's up to you. Like I said, a financial advisor, a mediator, a mortgage loan specialist to walk you through your different financing options if you choose to try and buy your spouse out. We're going to leave. We leave the attorneys out, and there's a reason for that. People say, well, I'm getting divorced, so I'm getting 50-50, which is a 50-50 split. Guess what? It's not. You get a third, he or she gets a third, and the attorney gets a third. It's a lose proposition. No, not to bash attorneys, because they play their role, just not in this situation.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the best ways for you to walk out with the most amount of money out of your biggest asset is when you start working with those professionals who could help you, who don't charge you by the hour. Attorneys will charge you by the hour every time that you have a question, this and that, and they're also not very well versed in real estate. They know the laws, they have, their own opinions, they have their own experiences, but they haven't studied real estate, they haven't studied mortgage. They're not financial advisors. So the most important thing and we say this at Irooze over and over again, you need to craft a divorce strategy and work with a team of professionals who can help you ensure that you know what you're doing, make sure that you're not going to regret any decisions, and especially those where you've made mistakes and you realize later on down the road you made a mistake and you acted out of duress or distress and out of desperation and led you into a bad place, into a bad decision. So what we always suggest is work with a realtor, work with a mortgage lender, a specialist, and then also speak with a financial advisor. The financial advisor will provide you with information that you may not have thought about. Maybe it'll be related to taxes. Maybe it'll be related to, anything that's going to happen once you sell that home. And if you don't speak to these specialists, you're going to realize all the mistakes you've made after the fact. So what we're trying to do is the reverse. We're trying to help you do it properly from the beginning, make sure you know what you're doing, speak to everybody who is, part of the process. And then you go to your attorney and you say, okay, this is what I need in my divorce decree, because now I know and I've studied it and I've made sure that these are the right things for me. So if you're in San Antonio, Texas, and this sounds interesting and relevant to you, and you're curious and you want to explore, about, what to do when you want to sell your home. And, I'm sure that Paul would be delighted to have a consultation with you and provide you with information and guidance and support to get you past this spot. So thank you, Paul, for being here.
Sure.
To contact him, all his coordinates are here below. Feel free to reach out at any time. Thank you all for being here and for watching. Until the next time we speak, I wish you all a day that matters. Take care, everyone.